Two of the most debilitating mental health disorders have become much more prevalent among young adults in the past few years. With the rise of technology and the decrease in regular human interactions, there's been a notable increase in the number of people suffering from anxiety and depression. But there are ways that we can work to combat it. As you can see in this graph here, 23% of individuals who were asked if a doctor had ever told them that they currently had or had had anxiety or depression answered yes. This means that roughly 23% of US individuals suffer from either anxiety or depression or both. Now, for those of you who have never felt anxiety or depression, I feel that Emily Wurtzel puts it best by saying, a human being can suffer almost anything as long as she sees the end in sight. But depression is so insidious, and it compounds daily, that it is impossible to ever see the end. Now, it's even worse amongst the younger generation. According to the rise of anxiety and depression among young adults in the United States by Emma Caruana Osorio and Emily Hyde, the number of young adults suffering from anxiety and depression has increased by 63% between the years 2005 and 2017. Now, in my life, I've struggled with both anxiety and depression. These moments were some of the most debilitating in my life, because in these moments, you can't muster the energy to get up and do what must be done, but at the same time, you can't stop thinking about all the things that must be done, and the consequences that will follow if they're not accomplished. This would put me into a vicious cycle of constantly thinking about what needed to be done, but also not being able to accomplish those things until I couldn't accomplish even the most simple of tasks. Now, it wasn't until I was able to find what was causing my anxiety and depression that I was truly able to combat it. For me, it was a lack of meaningful relationships in my life. Now, I had friends and I had family members that I could go and turn to and talk to, but it was more than that. It was needing to spend quality time with these individuals. It was needing to go out of my way to be around these individuals that would really help me to get out of these funks, as I like to call them. Now, it was because of this and my personal experience that I got in touch with a nonprofit called Rising Up Together. Now, Rising Up Together works to bring after-school programs to younger kids in partially underprivileged areas. Now, they do this for that same reason that I mentioned, allowing these children to make meaningful relationships to help prevent or combat the development of depression and anxiety in these younger generations. Now, I was able to see this firsthand as we saw young kids who had a hard time getting out of their shells, had a hard time making friends, were able to make these relationships and stave off the early effects of depression and anxiety. Now, it is important for all of us to develop these meaningful relationships in our lives so that we can prevent ourselves from having to go through these same symptoms. But it's even more important for us to provide these opportunities to young children so that we can prevent them from ever having to suffer as we suffered. Now, for the small donation of $10, you can go out and support Rising Up Together in their mission to bring these after-school programs to these children and help to prevent these children from ever having to suffer from these disorders. Thank you for your time.